Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Entrepreneurship Matters. This is our 44th week, and I can tell you that this is going to be a delicious conversation with two amazing entrepreneurs. We started this at the urging of an amazing entrepreneur, Camry Moses, KRS Smoothies, to have a really impactful and inspiring conversation with two entrepreneurs. And today is no different. I'm going to welcome Jumoke Jackson and Vernon Woodland to the screen. And let me set it up. What we know is that it takes undiluted passion, a lot of hard work, multiple failures to make it happen. But entrepreneurs are really the lifeblood of our community. Today we have two that are in. This is our first time talking to two entrepreneurs in the vegan space. I mean, I was vegan for breakfast this morning. So we're going to get some more converts today and hear their stories, which are both inspiring. Let me introduce them to you. And I'm not going to disrespect them. Their bios are amazing. So if you get to hear them again, I'm going to try to give you a glimpse of their bios so that we can get right into the conversation, but they are two accomplished men. Let me first introduce you to Chef Jumoke Jackson. He has become synonymous with great food. He is a successful private chef and motivational speaker based in the DC metro area, as well as serving clients globally. You'll see why I say that. He has created his own personal style by mixing his love of food with that of techniques from some of the best chefs in the country and beyond. He is a regular culinary contributor on Fox and Friends morning show, and he's also made appearances on ABC's The Chew and Dr. Oz. His accomplishments include crowd favorite at the Travel Channel's Fiery Foods Challenge, wow, and a contestant on the Food Network's Beat Bobby Flay and Cutthroat Kitchen. He has provided culinary services to Jill Scott, Gayle King, and has toured the world with Lady Gaga. He also speaks to youth about achieving their dreams and mastering their craft. And he is a partner in Everything Legendary that appeared on Shark Tank in 2021 and landed a deal with billionaire Mark Cuban. I mean, this is a treat. This is the closest I've ever been to Mark Cuban. So honor, Chef Jackson. But welcome him on this segment. I'm really honored to have you here.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Good. And Chef Vernon Woodland, I'm going to his quest for success all started with one brief middle school career day delivered by an insightful man who helped to open his eyes to an entire new way of thinking. He was raised in I was about to give you Baltimore, native Washingtonian, and he went to Martha M. Washington Vocational School, best noted for its amazing, unique career-oriented programs, and he became an accredited student within their culinary arts program. He rose to the top of his class, and after winning first prize in the District of Columbia cooking competition, he was awarded a scholarship to attend the New England Culinary Arts Institute in Vermont, where he obtained an associate degree in restaurant management. His path has landed him in many different careers and directions in his life. In early 2008, he was hired as a business consultant for Everlasting Life Health Complex, a vegan restaurant well known for its top-notch quality organic and raw cuisine. And I think that's where it all took off. He has, after 1 year of establishing that restaurant chain, he was able to reintroduce that cafe as Everlasting Life Cafe. He then underwent a restructuring and was rebranded as Woodland's Vegan Bistro. The same year expanded his operations to be Woodland's Vegan Bistro to Go food truck. Then he leveraged that growth to franchise and restructured and rebranded as NuVegan Café. We're going to talk about all these twists and turns you've done, because I think many entrepreneurs that probably wondering, how did you do that? And in 2018, he grew to 4 locations, opening 2 more in Richmond, Virginia, and inside the campus of Howard University. He is determined to promote a method of food preparation that expands population of health, earth, animal conscious consumers. that they are able to appreciate. Again, it is a pleasure to have Chef Vernon and Chef Jumoke on today, and we're going to get right into this conversation. And I know that there are many on, and let me tell folks how you can get in on the conversation. There are 3 ways you can come into Zoom and you can get into the chat. Many of you, I know most of you are watching on Facebook. You can put your questions on Facebook. I'll get to all of them. You can also, those of you that are on the phone, you can text your questions into 22333 JHUWL, and I will get all those messages and make sure that you are part of the conversation. But let's start out by saying, what inspired you to become an entrepreneur, to choose this as a path and a journey? And even if you could talk about what made you choose vegan to become an entrepreneur in this industry. I'll start with you, Jumoke, and then go to Vernon.
Yeah, I think, well, let me say this. I have a horrible time remembering where I heard a quote from. So if I say something, I just reference something. Forgive me if I get the wrong person associated with that quote wrong. But very early on, I heard somebody say that you can either spend your life making somebody else's dreams come true, or you can spend your life making your own dreams come true. And that's what I latched onto and made me want to become an entrepreneur. I just really have big dreams, and I wanted to see them into fruition or die trying to make them happen. So that's what really inspired me to become an entrepreneur. I just love every aspect of it. And I definitely want to share what I feel are my talents with the world. So that was the inspiration. And that was from a pretty early age. It just morphed into different things the older I got, and really latched onto food and beverage post school. And this has been a second career for me, and I've been loving it ever since.
And what made you go into the vegan field? So vegan field.
I was raised on meat and potatoes. Like I'm not, it was not instilled in me early at all. It was just a thing as I got older. I realized the importance of it, more plant-based eating, more vegetable eating, more things that are going to fuel your body properly. So even though I'm telling you, I can give you story after story with meat involved in that story, but I know that it is the path that we should be on. So whether you're a full-time vegan or you just eat more plant-based food or eat more vegetables, I think that's the encouragement. You got to meet people where they're at. So for me, that's the message for me is just involve more of it in your life, even if you're not full-time, because they have part-time vegans, part-time plant-based people. Just to get more involved in your life. There's more to life than meat and potatoes. And mac and cheese.
There's somebody on here that understands what you're saying, and I had breakfast this morning. I understand. Vernon, how about you? What inspired you to choose entrepreneurship, or have it choose you?
And in high school, like you mentioned before, that career day, because I wanted to be a basketball player, a football player. I really didn't, I didn't really grow up, hearing about entrepreneurship. So career day, the counselor suggested that I go to M.M. Washington. I wanted to go to Dunbar for sports. So I was depressed at that time because I didn't know what I wanted to do, sports or culinary arts. Well, he asked me, what did I want to be, or what else did I like to do? I told him I like to cook. So he suggested M.M. Washington for the culinary arts program. So when I went to M.M. Washington, they also had an entrepreneurship class. So this was my first introduction into entrepreneurship because I really didn't even know what it was. So I did culinary arts, took entrepreneurship, and we had to create our own business in high school. So the name of my business in high school was called Sweet Treats. So I would, they would take us to like in Florida Avenue. It was like a Whole Food spot. So I would buy candy and then sell it. And then I ended up having a partner, a friend of mine at the time. His name was Damien. And then we made dessert. So we would bake cheesecakes, cakes, and we'd sell it to his mom would take it to her job, and then she'd sell it for us. So so I was doing that, the sweet treat business in high school. And then we had the deli. Because we had a culinary arts program, we were cooking food and making food. So they allow us to run the deli. So that was like, my firsthand experience in running the deli. I didn't run it by myself. It was like the class.
Sure.
So, we would make the food and we were selling it and we was making a lot of money, but we didn't keep the money, went right back into the program. But that opened my eyes with the possibility to, one day opening up a restaurant. So fast forward to 12th grade, my friend and I, Damien, we tried to open up a restaurant. And we tried to, get a lease, but when we attempted to do it, we don't have no credit, no nothing. So we were kind of green going into it. So we got rejected because we didn't have what it, at that time, we didn't have what we needed to really open up a restaurant. We were just trying to experiment. Then I'm gonna fast forward a little. So we had a career through culinary arts program, which I participated in. I won a scholarship to New England, came out and had a few jobs in the restaurant. So I wasn't getting no progress in the restaurant field at the time. So I ended up leaving the restaurant field by a friend of mine. His name is Landon. He's from Baltimore. So, I was like a lead cook and he was doing the catering. So he would make the food and I would make the food and he would deliver it. But he ended up leaving and ended up getting a job in Comcast doing direct sales. I wasn't making a lot of money doing cooking. He made a lot of money doing cable. So he tried to recruit me, to go do cable. So I ended up leaving the food service industry, which I felt like I was destined to do, but I left for more money. So I ended up doing direct sales through Comcast. Eventually going to my first check was like $2,500. So I really didn't go back to the food. I was making $2,500 a week, and then it started going up. And then my entrepreneurship experience started there because then I end up going to get my own contract with my friend. I was making this guy a lot of money. I said, well, we could do this ourselves. Every time we made $50, he made $50. I'm like, well, we could go make $100 and keep the whole thing to ourselves. So it started there. Had a contract. I created a proposal, went and got a contract in Montgomery County, Comcast. And then the guy that we worked for found out that we got our own contract, and then he sabotaged it. But during that time, we was making a lot of money anyway. So then I got into the shoe business. We was creating a shoe. So I know my story is a little long. I'm gonna try to speed it up. Okay.
No, you're good.
Okay. So
you're a serial entrepreneur. You are recreating the business over, and I mean your journey is selling every product.
Okay.
Right?
Sorta. Yeah. So so during that time we was making a lot of money. We spent a lot of money. At that time I'm like 23 years old. So we're going to the store, spending money, shoes. We kind of brought up all the shoes in the store. So I'm like, there ain't no shoes in here that I really like. So my friend said the same thing. So I said, man, let's create our own shoe. So we started a process to create our own shoe called a manufacturer in China. We got some artwork done. And my friend of mine, he was good at getting attention. So we end up getting a write-up in the Baltimore Sun. Then the Baltimore Sun led to Mark Clark and the Big Fat Morning Show back in the day. You remember that show on 92Q? So we got on there, then we was on Channel 13 News. And then from there, this with a paper drawing, like we didn't even have the shoe yet. So being on TV, then we had some investors reach out to us wanting to know more about us and partner up with us. So it was a guy by the name of Michael Sullivan. He was the owner of Merry Go Round back in the day. He invested with us, and then the Murphys, Hassan Murphy, the Murphy firm in Baltimore, they partnered up with us and sent us to China, created the shoe, brought the shoe back.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, your path in entrepreneurship, and I think, and what Jumoke has talked about is you all both had a desire to like chart your own paths and fulfill your own dreams. I mean, I guess there are many, and we're starting to get questions in. Don't worry, I will get to all of your questions. I know we only have an hour, but we will get to all those questions. Let me ask you both this. So Jumoke, let me switch to Jumoke. How did you go from an idea, wanting to help people and then getting into starting your business? Like, what were the steps? Folks, I know you're taking out your pens in your piece of paper. What steps did you go through from having an idea, knowing you're on this path to starting your business?
Yeah, I don't know if what steps is the right question. Maybe what falls did I did I
What falls? What falls and stumbles? Yes, go ahead.
Because I'm a plunge in type person. Like if I want to do something, then immediately I want to get started in it. Like I'm not going to spend a long time training for it. I'm not going to get every resource, make sure that the plan is picture perfect. I just want to get started in it. Now, the older I get, I realize the importance of a proper plan, the importance of having mentorship in that given field, the importance of having your resources lined up. But early on, and because that's the question, I just kind of plunged into it. Like catering, I started my catering business in the basement of my house. So it wasn't, I was very much under, I wasn't certified. I wasn't,
Don't tell anybody that. Don't tell anybody that. So go ahead. You weren't certified.
I wasn't certified. I wasn't above the board or anything. I wasn't paying taxes on it. Like none of the things I was supposed to be doing in the beginning. I wasn't doing them. I was just very much very passionate about food, and I wanted to cater, and I wanted to make food for people and make them happy. It just gave me a direct connection, that instant gratification of seeing your food being enjoyed by somebody else. It was as simple as that for me. So the steps that I took were really just kind of jumping in. I started with, if you want to say the steps, I started with family and friends, getting them to hire me. So I definitely used my network. If you want to look at what that step is called, use the network and the resources that you do have available to you, whether it's family and friends or indirect friends, which is the importance of having a network to begin with, because the bigger your network, the more effective you can be in whatever it is you're trying to do. And then from there, the one thing that I absolutely still use to this day is use every day as though it's like day one. So an opportunity to always learn and grow from people, from interactions, from just the lessons you learn. Like I will never consider that I have every single tool that I need. I'm always going to be looking for the next tool or resource to make me better as an entrepreneur.
And at some point you did get all the licensing. I just want to
yes.
You did get all the licensing. You start paying taxes. Come on, somebody could be watching. You paid all the taxes. You did all the things you need to do, right?
Bring it forward, certified.
Yeah, you got certified.
Paying taxes, all the things above the board, payrolls, all the things.
He pays all his taxes. He has the business in order. Don't tell anybody. You don't need to report. Let me point out three things you talked about. One, you talked about catering within your basement, and really that's about having the passion at the core of your product and perfecting that. Two, you talked about something. Your second step was talking about their friends and family. Every entrepreneur we've had on here, if it weren't for their friends and family, they say it wouldn't have made it, right? That was their first line of customers. The third thing you talked about, I think this is a good advice for all of those watching, and I see a number of the entrepreneurs commenting in the chat already, but teaching each day to learn and grow and look at what's next and innovate. Really, that's what I took away from that. And you got all your legal certifications, the payroll, taxes, everything. How about you, Chef Vernon? What did you do to go from an idea, concept around Café, food service business, to actually starting that business? What were your steps?
I mean, it was kind of the same way. Pretty much when I took over that location, it was a grocery store. And, we were competing pretty much with like the Soul Vegetarian that was like 2 blocks down. This was like 2008 in the middle of the recession when I got it. So I wasn't even thinking recession. I just had a dream and so I just wanted to do it. And pretty much, because it was a grocery store, it wasn't built out to be a restaurant. So, in the beginning, I didn't have the resources at the time to like build out a kitchen. So I was using like the little portable burners. We cooking food on burners. We then had a little oven. So we started off with pretty much nothing. But I used all the money that was coming into the store and just, reinvesting back into the business. So I mean, it was the times where like we had like Russell Simmons coming in there, sitting down eating, and then we didn't have heat, so we had like a torpedo blowing hot air in this big old space to give us heat because the AC was out. So I mean, the restaurant was in bad shape, and we went through like a couple of renovations, and pretty much all the money that was coming in, I was just putting it back into the business. And at that time, I had family and some close friends that was there supporting me, helping me build it from the ground up. And like I said, it was down 2008, and it was kind of tough for 2008, 2009. I think 2013. It took us like from 2008 to 2013 is where like all the renovations were pretty much done. So it took all that time to get it done. And from there, and then the gentrification started to happen, and then the business kind of took off. But it was a process of just struggle. But I was already lucky to be able to be in a position where it was a grocery store. It was already a vegan restaurant two blocks down. So pretty much we was in competition, and I had to come up with a plan to pretty much not get them out of business, but like we both couldn't share that market on that block, So, my sports background had to be competitive and come up with ways to,
Well, I think what you're saying, and I'm going to give your points too. I've taken down, I think 5 points of what you did to do. First of all, you got the location, right? And so you settled on the location, the grocery store. You started off small. And I think many people sort of see the tree, right? And they don't realize the seeds that were planted and how long it took for that to grow over the time. You talked about 2008 to 2013 and the reinvestment in the business. Building and growing at the same time. So getting that money in, friends and family, again, key, and working through that struggle. Let me get to some of the questions that have been posed, and some of the folks that folks are asking. And the last point you left off on was around marketing considerations. And both of you are great marketers. Jumoke, I mean, I know what it took to get that background behind you, and it's good. You received a couple of comments about love the virtual background, but what marketing considerations did you both make in building your businesses and brands? How did you go from thinking about how am I going to build my brand? Then I'm going to you, Vernon, because you're trying to take out the competition down the street. So I want to ask you, like, what crush the competition? How did you go about thinking about marketing and building your business? So Jumoke, and then I'll go to Vernon.
Yeah. So marketing for me has evolved as I've become a better entrepreneur. Like in the beginning, and I think so. If I was to summarize marketing. And my approach every single time is that just always be marketing. Like that's the basic. It's like always be marketing. So in the beginning, it was like flyers, or it was trying to get on a radio station, or it was telling somebody to referrals, like trying to get referrals out. So it was always some avenue for me, like, and it was as grassroots as you want it. Like it was literally like putting flyers in my neighborhood or going to a neighborhood where I thought, this is where my customer is. I'm going to find some business, or doing such a good job, which was for a long time with my catering company in particular, a long time how I chose to market was if I wasn't getting a referral, I wasn't doing a good enough job. Like, because people talk about you when you do a good job. You have to me, you could literally build your business off of doing such a good job that somebody will always refer you. So that was for years. I probably used that as like my basis for how to market. But before that, it was knocking on doors or putting up flyers or whatever. And then it's evolved with social media. It's another avenue which I thoroughly enjoy. So, and it's brought me some great eyes that I wouldn't necessarily have, because you can connect with people all over the world. So it's evolved for me, but the constant has always been to just always be marketing, like whatever you're doing and whatever avenue you pick, try to be as good as you can in it, or make yourselves kind of stand out with your marketing approach.
No, I think that's a really good point. And I love how you said, if you weren't getting the referrals, you knew something was wrong. You weren't doing something right? So the best way to get more business is to do good business and to have people refer you. Excellent point you just made. How about you, Vernon? How did you think about crushing the business down the street? Are they still in existence?
All right, so to be honest, I'm not really good in the marketing aspect. Starting a business.
Although you have on a shirt that says, "What is NuVegan?"
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, all right,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
In the beginning and starting a business, as the owner, you wear a lot of hats. So in the beginning, I was the cook, I was a server, I was everything, So the marketing part was kind of last, because my passion was cooking. Like, it wasn't really being a restaurant owner, operator. Like, I like to cook. So that's what I did in the beginning. All those years, I was just a cook. And so as far as marketing, my thing was, to provide the best food and the best service, and let the word of mouth be the marketing tool for us. So, like, even to this day, we don't do a lot of marketing, but I'm starting to step my game up now, because I know that that's what I have to do, but I'm not in the kitchen cooking anymore. So I can step outside of the business and then do like the owner thing now, owner operator, and then market my business. But in the beginning, we just try to make sure that we made the best food and give the best service. And now our customers do all the marketing for us. They come in, they have a great experience, they taste the food, they love
just
the food.
sort of like what Jumoke said, right?
Yep.
Your business is your customers are your marketers.
Yep.
Core business good, then you can market that way. I mean, I think it's such a good point for so many watching around. You can only market good product. It's only going to get you so far. The good product is what's going to keep them. I think it's just an excellent point you both are making. Both of you talked about being pandemic and you were recession. So struggle's not foreign to you. Talk a little bit. We've received this question a couple of times. How you navigated your business through the pandemic? How did you make adjustments? Did you have to make any adjustments? I'll start with you, Jumoke, and then Vernon. What did you do to get over the troubled waters?
So mine was a complete pivot. So when the pandemic hit, which was right around March of last year, I lost probably 70% of my business, like within a couple of weeks, gone. Like stuff that clients that I have every year, events that I book and do every single year, lost all of it like pretty instantly. And so I went home and just sat for probably 2 months. I didn't get a haircut. I grew my hair out. I played in the backyard with my kid. I cooked every day, so I stayed connected to what I was passionate about, just cooking at home. But what I did do after kind of realizing that this was something I was going to have to adapt to and pivot with, was that I just completely changed what I was doing, my whole model. So I went into a virtual space, which I hadn't been in before, which was virtual classes. And so I started doing virtual cooking classes, which became pretty popular pretty quick. And I really evolved that, which I had never done before, but it was a great kind of pivot at the same time with everything legendary, which is a big part of what I do now. We had just signed a lease to go to have our first spot right when the pandemic hit. Wow. Fortunately, we were able to get out of the lease also when we realized that it might not be the easiest thing to do. All the challenges of having a business might not be the easiest thing to do that during the pandemic. So we got out of the lease. We decided to be as lean as possible. So we were just online sales. And then the whole Shark Tank thing took off. So we never went back to that model. But we just kind of lucked out on that. Like if we had signed the lease maybe a couple of weeks before, we would have been tied into it and it would have been a whole issue. But for me, it was a complete pivot. For everything legendary, it was also a pivot. And that was what I would say to like my mentees. It was just learn how to pivot. You just have to look at what's in front of you and look at how you can pivot your product and service to fit that pivot.
Yeah, I think it's so important what you talked about. Well, time is everything. Thankfully, you were able to get out of that lease. Critical. And able to capitalize and get on Shark Tank. Don't worry, we're going to ask you a lot about that. We want to hear that story. But I think you gave a number of good points for everyone watching about how you dealt with, really something you never planned for. How about you, Vernon? How did you deal with you have cafes, a food truck? How did you deal with the pandemic?
Well, I think for the first 2 weeks we took a hit, mainly because the information that was coming through was that like all restaurants were closed. So a lot of our customers assumed that we were closed. So we took a hit, even though we tried to market on social media. Yeah. We have a customer loyalty program. So what we did was we marketed through our loyalty program. So we let everyone know that we were open. So it went straight to their phones. And then after that, the next day, all of our customers started to come back in. So we are already like a fast casual concept. So takeout and deliveries, we were already doing that anyways. Customers just couldn't dine in. So we kind of pivoted a little. So we introduced like a family meal plan. We knew that customers didn't really want to come to the restaurant. So we created like a 5-person meal option, and we did a delivery for free throughout like the whole PG County. So they can order a $79.99 meal, and we made it, and and we sent it out so that they didn't have to come out, and we just sent it to them. And then we still had customers coming in. We have our own delivery program on our website, and then we partner with DoorDash and GrubHub. So we was already doing that anyway. So once the customers knew that we were open, it was, business was back to normal, sort of.
Excellent. And I got up there. Kwesi has. I don't know if you know Kwesi. Let me see.
Yeah, I know.
Kwesi. So he's shouting you out. He had a question straight for you. He's super proud of you. You come a long way. His question is, what advice can you give about researching locations for your business? So you have multiple locations for your business. How do you research and know that this is where I want to open up? How did you do that?
You know what? It wasn't for me. Like my whole journey has just been about like I was meant to be there. Like for the location, my first location was the location that I got. Like I inherited that location. But like when I went to College Park, it was kind of vacant for a while. And I felt like it was a good opportunity. It was at the University of Maryland. So I did the research, called the broker, and got that deal. Howard University, Sodexo Services managed that property. They reached out to me. The Richmond location was a franchise at the time, so that's how I got that location. The food truck was the second expansion from the DC location. We got the food truck, then we moved to College Park. And
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I think your story of progression is helpful for so many. And I know we have a number of food entrepreneurs on of how we're thinking about expanding and growing your footprint in a really strategic manner. I mean, being on the campus of Howard University, probably huge. I mean, getting your food truck allowed you to be mobile, right? No fixed overhead, not your rent's never going up on the food truck. I mean, so those are just really thinking about. Someone asked Jumoke, are you opening a store? You opening a store up?
No, honestly, I don't think so, but I have a couple of things that might move me into that space, but ask me in a year.
Ask him in a year. All right, we'll have to have you back. We'll get a highlight reel coming back. He's gonna come back in a year and tell us about
That's
that.
good to hear.
But he's in grocery stores. Tell him about which grocery stores are you in? How's your footprint? How have you expanded your business? And talk a little bit about Shark Tank.
Yeah, so
that
it
propelled you.
It was a great experience. Like I said, we started the company about 2 years ago. Me, Dwayne, and Danita, us three. Dwayne is a longtime friend of mine. He's not a chef. He wanted to start, it was his concept. He wanted to start a vegan food company. And he came to me, he said, "You're good. Yeah, I know you're a good chef. I want you to create a burger." I was busy. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm like, "Dwayne, I don't have time to do this, da, da, da." He's a very persistent guy. He's like, "No, I want you to do it." So I spent probably about 3 months researching and developing. I had never created a vegan burger. I didn't even know about Legendary. I didn't know about Impossible or Beyond Meat or anything at that time. Like I didn't know about a plant-based burger. I'd known about like a bean burger, a veggie burger. I hadn't known about a plant-based burger, nothing about it. So it took a lot of research to come up with a prototype. We did a small tasting for a group of people that we looked up to. It was well received from the start, which was a blessing. And then we were just kind of off to the races in terms of doing pop-ups. We started doing pop-ups right by FedEx Field for a good while. We went down to H Street, did the H Street Festival. We then went down to Atlanta. So we did pop-ups and stuff all over the place, trying to build the momentum for the company. We then decided we were going to go into retail. We had signed the lease, the pandemic hit, we shifted. We said we need to stay lean while we figure out what we want to do. And then ironically, blessing, whatever you call it, Dwayne decides to apply for Shark Tank. We go through that whole process, which takes a while. Like the Shark Tank process is a very extensive process, and they kind of liken it to getting accepted into Harvard. It's like it's easier to get accepted into Harvard than it is to get on Shark Tank. And I actually believe it because it's an extremely extensive, from background checks to interviews to going through all these mock things that they have you go through. But we went through that whole process, which was another 3 months or so. We recorded it last year. We got the deal, obviously. We teamed up with Mark.
Congratulations. It's a huge deal. It's such a huge deal.
Yeah.
So proud of you.
And Mark is a vegan, so it was a great natural fit.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He already has a vegan profile of companies that he co-owns. So it's a great fit. We're great and grateful to be in his kind of ecosystem of companies. He's been an extremely wonderful mentor / business partner for us, super available and everything that we could have wanted and more. We launched into Target not too long ago. We're now in Target, Giant, Safeway, Acme stores, Balducci's, King's. Yeah, so a little over 1,000 stores right now, mainly in the mid-Atlantic, but with Target, we're in 13 states. So that's about 300. Hopefully we'll expand into all the Targets, but we are just full steam ahead. Dwayne and Danita are out there every day doing merchandising tours there in Philadelphia right now at the Acme stores. If you look on our social, which is go_legendary, you'll see Dwayne just like shouting from the top of his lungs, "Try the burger, try the burger, try the burger." So
amazing.
Yeah, it's a perfect partnership.
Amazing.
Yeah, so it's been a great journey.
Y'all, both of you, I mean, you talk about your success. You can tell you're both humble individuals, but your success is so inspiring. I mean, we're getting so many shout outs on Facebook, and we're bringing them forward, half of them, I know. But people are just so inspired by just your stories, your journey. And I'm serious. I was a vegan for breakfast, but now I might be vegan for dinner. I mean, I might be able to get some NuVegan Café, get some everything legendary, go to Giant and get that. Let me ask you both this question, which has come up a couple of times in the chat, which is, how did you what's helped you to know this is worth it, right? Was there a moment, specific instance when you say, you know what, this is it? This is I'm on the right path. Was there a particular moment? And we know that entrepreneurs watching are on their journey, right? And there are many times people were like, I'm coming out of this. I'm not doing this. But was there a particular moment when you were like, I'm on the right path. This is worth it. This is what I'm going for. Vernon, did you have that moment?
Yes. I think it's pretty much when I'm in a restaurant and I hear a story from a customer that tell me, you know, they were overweight, they started coming here and then they lost weight, or they offered, you know, they had diabetes or high blood pressure and they don't have it. Or a customer that come in and tell me how, you know, how we changed their life. So like those situations, and even from my team members, the people that we hire, they come in, they've been trying to find a job, couldn't find a job, and then we give them an opportunity to make money. So like those type of situations, you know, kind of confirm that whatever I'm doing is I'm supposed to do, because it's all about purpose. It ain't really about the money. The money will come if you're doing the right thing.
Right.
So that's kind of like my philosophy when it comes to that.
No, absolutely, absolutely. How about you, Jumoke? What was the moment? I know it was well before you got on that floor of Shark Tank. So what was the moment this is worth it? I'm on the right path.
Well, you know, for me in the beginning, I'll say very transparently, in the beginning of like my entrepreneur path, it was very much about the money. Like that was the thing for me. I was raised by a single mom, so it was very money focused for me. But as it evolved, as I evolved as a person, and I read in particular, there was this book called Start With Why, which is by Simon Sinek, and it really kind of gets you to center on what your purpose in life is almost, and so how you can drive that into what it is you're doing. And so I think once I discovered what that why was for me, I was able to use that as my constant driving force. So that's how I knew, and it wasn't any particular business moment. So it's just a constant thing for me. So, but there are great accomplishments, like you said, even something as simple as somebody saying that they liked your food, or that the food was a great moment for somebody. Because I think with food, Vernon, like, you know, you have so many moments that you touch for people with food, weddings, graduations, repasses. Like there's so many moments that you can touch in people's lives with food. So I mean, those are the things that, you know, touch me, is just being involved or being a part of that, or making it a better experience for somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'm gonna get this question out of the way, because whoever is posting this question has asked it a couple times, and I've stayed away because it's Entrepreneurship Matters. It's not something else. But I'm gonna get to your question. I'm gonna get to it. The question, and they said the panel is, so I think that includes me. So I'm gonna claim every part of all. Is Vernon single? Sounds like Jumoke is asking for a friend. Thank you, Johns Hopkins University. Y'all don't have to answer that question, but I'm gonna put it out there for you. This person, whoever it is, knows that I take all these questions seriously, and I pose them all. So I don't censor the question. So that was a question that was posed in the chat twice. For y'all too. So you don't have to answer that question, but you can if you want to, but it's been a question that's asked.
Spoken for.
Spoken for, all right.
I'm single.
Jordan said he's single, so all right, so whoever you are, we'll give that in the end. So, but we're gonna go back to Entrepreneurship Matters for the rest of the duration. But let me both ask you this: what advice would you give to people wanting to take the vegan leap? Because we have a couple of folks on here who they're entrepreneurs, but we also have folks who are came off just to see what veganism is about. So what advice would you give to someone? Jumoke and then Vernon?
What would I give them in terms of entrepreneurship?
No, the vegan leap. This is the vegan leap.
The vegan leap, wow. It's such a personal thing to me because I think you can become vegan, like people are driven to be vegan for usually one or two reasons. Either it's a health thing or it's like an animal rights thing for them.
Sure.
So for me, it was definitely more of a health thing, although I can appreciate the animal rights aspect of it.
Yeah.
But to me, like I said, at a young age, you don't necessarily realize you're very indestructible in your teens and 20s. But as you cross and get a few gray hairs, you realize that you might want your body to function well for a while.
Sure.
And one of the ways you do that is through what you eat. So paying attention to what you eat is super important. And there's no greater way to get your body what it needs than vegetables and plants and natural nutrients. So it's just kind of a logical thing. And the whole argument of plant-based vegan food doesn't taste good is so ridiculous to me that I just don't even, like, I've gone through every evolution that NuVegan has gone through. I've eaten a NuVegan since it was when vegan wasn't cool. Like I've gone through every change, looking at the new name that they were, and I'm like, did somebody buy them out? Like, but then go inside and see the same delicious food. I was like, okay, it's still them. They just changed their name. They just changed their name. But I mean, and that's been forever. Like I'm from DC, so
Yeah.
That's been flavorful food for years and years and years. So, you know.
How do you say, Vernon? I mean, you as Jumoke said, it's not, the taste is good. So what advice would you give to someone wanting to take that leap?
I would just say give it a shot. And, you know, majority of our customers are transitional eaters. I mean, a lot of our customers, I mean, they're not even vegan. They eat meat and they eat the vegan food, just like a different type of cuisine. So if they come in, like at NuVegan, we get samples. So you just come in, we give you a sample. We let you try the food, we educate you on the food, and then you just kind of go from there. It's just a different type of cuisine. A lot of people try to make it, you know, seem like it's just like a different type of food, which, I mean, in essence it is, but it's just a different type of cuisine. So, you know, we try to make things that resemble the food that you normally eat now: crab cake, chicken, lasagna, macaroni and cheese. So you're not really like losing flavor and taste. It's just a little different. Yeah.
Just a little different. Just a different cuisine. That's right.
Yeah.
Let me get to this question that has been posed for both of you a number of times. So I'm gonna start with Jumoke. So how has the experience been having business partners? And Vernon, when you talked about a number of business partners that you've had. How has that been? And what advice would you give to individuals about having a business partner, choosing a business partner, thinking about that as a part of your entrepreneurship journey? Jumoke?
I could do a whole nother webinar on business partners I've had and just like stories upon stories. But I would just say that it's for me, it really kind of came down to the character of the people that I was been involved with or decided to be involved with. And I think that's just kind of have to use that and just use your own common sense on who you decide to partner with. I've had super successful business partnerships, like with Everything Legendary, and I've had the exact opposite where you literally have to take somebody to court. Like I've had both sides. So
yeah,
to me, if I broke it down to like, what do I use now to determine, it's just the character of the person. And then their knowledge base, like those two things. I think beyond that, you just kind of have to say a prayer and hope it works out.
Hope. It's like marriage. You have to like taking leaps. Pray. Character and knowledge. This is good advice. Vernon, how about you? What would you say? What you've had business partners. Do you have business partners now?
No, I don't.
Okay. So what's been the journey for you on business partners, not having business partners? How has that journey been for you?
All right, so in high school, I had a partner. I didn't really think of it, like I didn't go too deep in it, because we just had the same passion. So we made a good fit to be partners. When I did the shoe and the sales and marketing company,
Mhm.
we worked together, and I felt like, we both had strength and weaknesses. So where I
Mhm.
was weak at, he could cover, and then whatever he
Sure.
was weak at, I could maintain. So that relationship was good. And then when I got into the restaurant, really didn't have any partners.
Mhm.
Um, well, I did have one partner when I decided to open up my first franchise in Richmond, Virginia. So that's a different type of partner. But that didn't really go too well, if I want to be honest.
Sure. Sure.
So
Absolutely.
that didn't go too well. Uh, but I know what to do going forward. Just do more research
Mhm.
and pray.
And pray. That's right. Prayer. Prayer.
Pray,
Prayer is
because
so
a lot
powerful.
of people give you an impression, the first impression, even the second impression. They're gonna tell you what you want to know,
Yeah.
and what you want to hear. But when you start working with them, that's when you kind of see the flaws that they might have, and then yeah. Mm.
Hold on. I've been waiting. I waited to almost the last minute because I wanted to confirm it. But Oprah's watching. Oprah and a couple other investors are watching, right? And so they actually want to know how can they be supportive? I'm talking about we. That was pretty funny. How can folks be supportive of you two? How can folks in those positions, as well as me, right? So I don't have that. But how can we be supportive of both of you? So Jamake, what's one or two things you would say?
Well, I always said if I got Oprah's attention, I'll say hello first. Hey, how you doing, Oprah? Two, tell her that I know two very close friends of hers, Derek, her makeup artist, and Gail King, who I cook for in New York a lot. But the way that you be supportive of us is to help push forward our message. We are a vegan food company, so Black owned. I think we're the only plant-based burger company in the country that I know of that does plant foods burgers on a national scale. Learn about the product, educate your audience on the product. So your voice transcends. So if you want me to do my elevator pitch, I'm ready whenever you're ready.
All right. So yeah, that's right. Elevator pitch. I mean, you must have an elevator pitch because you got Mark Cuban to invest. So money follows money. So that's good. I love it. I think we had to make sure that gets set up.
Yeah.
Figure that out. Yes, yes. How about you, Vernon? What do you say?
That's a good question. I mean, I pretty much feel the same. Just get the message out. The brand. I know for me, I haven't really put myself in a position where I can, partner or meet people that can take me to the next level. I tried, but you know, coming from like my background in the area that I'm in, it's been kind of hard, trying to find mentorship, trying to find people that can help me take it to the next level.
Yeah.
It's kind of been difficult. So I just take the mentality just to do it myself. So if someone is willing to help me take it to the next level, and I'm all for whatever information, wisdom, knowledge, resources that is available to me.
No, I think that's a really I think that's something that I know that there are a number of people watching and a number of people within our Hopkins network that would love to help you take business to the next level. Because I mean, you already demonstrated. I love the story of the McDonald's brothers and Ray Kroc. McDonald's brothers could make a great burger, right?
Mhm.
Be Ray Kroc. They couldn't create more businesses. You did. You have done that. So you have four locations. So I mean, you already are Ray Kroc. You're better than Ray Kroc. But so we
Mhm.
figure out how to support you in getting you greater access. But both of you, and as Bernita said, prayer is important. So both of you, again, if you're praying, your tribe will be blessed. So let me ask this as we wrap up. What is next for both of you? What's the big thing what's the next big thing for both of your businesses, both of your brands, both of you as entrepreneurs? So Jumoke, I don't know if I stole it from the Mark Cuban, but there's something big, I think. So what's yours? What's the next big thing?
Just more branding personally. Just I have, there's me, there's Mr. Foodtastic, there's Everything Legendary, and just making my voice heard more in the food and beverage space. And that's through multiple avenues, from part business ownership in other restaurants, other concepts, the plant-based industry, which I feel like we're relatively new to. We'll develop the product line, which we're absolutely working on new products. And then me personally, there's Mr. Foodtastic, which has a whole nother thing to it, but it's more so just education through entertainment, through my virtual classes, through my cookbooks, through mentorship stuff. So it's pretty all over the place. The thing that I enjoy is that if it's something I'm passionate about, I just figure out a path for it and where it fits in, because taking on too much at one time can be a downfall for an entrepreneur, because an entrepreneur, I don't know if that's true for you, Vernon, but for me, I have 1,000,001 ideas. And very early on, I tried to do 1,000,001 ideas. But when I realized that if I just do one idea really, really, really well, then I can go back and pull in those other ideas through that path that I've established now, and it's going to be a lot easier. So that's what I struggled with for years, and just how to kind of narrow the focus and stay steady on the path.
Excellent, excellent. No, I get that. Absolutely. How about you, Vernon? What's next? What's the next big thing for you?
Well, we plan to open up a location in Baltimore in the Charlie.
Okay, we got some questions about the closest location. People watching and trying to see like closest location, College Park. So everybody who's thinking about the Baltimore locations coming soon. It's great. Great.
August. Yeah.
August?
In August. Yep.
Oh wow. Where's it gonna be located?
In the Charles Village area.
Nice.
So I'll post it on the social.
Yeah. All right, great. We'll be there for the ribbon cutting.
Yeah. Also just continue to expand via franchising. We want to become a household name in the vegan world. So we plan to expand via franchising. We have like signature products that we make ourselves that we will in some time introduce to like the grocery stores. And pretty much that's it. A couple of more food trucks and just keep it moving. Yeah.
Excellent. Both of you, it has been an honor to get to interview you today on this edition of Entrepreneurship Matters. You both are doing great things. I know there are people on here saying, how can I get like Mark Cuban and invest in Jumoke and Vernon? How can I get stock right now? So we know they'll be reaching out to both of you. Let me make sure people have your information as we wrap up. So Vernon, want to give us your website, your Facebook, Instagram, your Twitter?
Yes, the website is ilovenuvegan.com, and everything, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram is at NuVegan Café.
Excellent. How about you, Jumoke?
So Everything Legendary is golegendary.com. That's the website. The social handle for Everything Legendary is go_legendary. That's on Instagram. On Facebook, it's Everything Legendary. And then me, Mr. Foodtastic, across every single platform. And chefjjackson.com is my website.
All right, Mr. Foodtastic. Excellent. Thank you so much. Let me wrap us up, giving some announcements about next week. So we return next Thursday at 1 p.m. It's going to be all about flowers. It's going to be a great one. Eddie Wingray of Flowers and Fancies. Oh, that's one of my, I can't say what's my favorite, but it is one of my favorite florists. And Tasha Flowers of Tasha Flowers Decor and Gifts. Again, an amazing business, two amazing floral entrepreneurs. You do not want to miss it. Please continue to follow us on JH Connects on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all the other channels. Email us at jhconnects@jhu.edu. I want to thank our partners, Johns Hopkins University, Johns Hopkins Health System, Hopkins Local, the Mayor's Office of Small, Minority, and Women-Owned Business, the Warnock Foundation, the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses, and Bloomberg Philanthropies. Thank you so much, Vernon. Thank you, Jumoke.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Really appreciate you both.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, our pleasure.